Last year I turned 70 and I didn't like it. I hated it, in fact. I did everything I could in my power to keep from turning 70, but I turned 70 anyway. And one of the things I also did was, in the course of that year, I lost about 25 pounds, which I was so proud of. I was really proud of the fact I had lost 25 pounds because I had worked hard to do that. But one of the things that I noticed about 70 was, always in the past when I had lost weight, it came off of my midsection. I could reduce my pant size, like instead of being a 36, I went to a 34. And if I would really tighten my belt and even lie about it, I could say 32 sometimes. Yeah, I could do that. Well, I lost 25 pounds, but my waist didn't change. It didn't change. I mean, it was like it never moved. It was just hanging right in there. But what I did notice was that my shoulders, my chest, and my neck, they all lost weight. I mean, the very places I wouldn't want to lose weight, I lost weight. I didn't like that. There are other things about being 70 that I don't like, and they don't necessarily have to do with my age or my body, but they have to do with who I am. You see, I no longer speak, I no longer teach, I no longer write, I no longer do the things that once made me feel as if I had value. I don't do those things anymore. And so by not doing them, I don't feel as if I have value. See, nobody affirms me. No one says, oh, what a great job. You're incredible. What's this thing, that thing? Those things that once gave me value, I no longer do those things. And so there is this tendency to feel I don't have value. So what can I do about that? I've been thinking about it, even writing about it of all things. Been observing different things, looking for things to compare it to. 3 years ago, I had two granddaughters that got married in one summer. And one of these was in the evening, which meant that I had to have a black suit in order to be appropriately dressed for this wedding. And I don't like what we call funeral suits. We don't have a suit. It's just not a part of our life. So we've been asked to be a pallbearer, and we got and buy one, and it's one of those polyester things that we got at the discount. I don't like those things. And of course, I like nice suits. And as I begin to look at nice suits like Hickey Freeman or Brooks Brothers or Hart Scheffner and Marks, they were $800 and $900 for a suit that I might wear only one time. So I wasn't going to do that. So I began to look around and I didn't tell Joy, but I started looking on eBay, where you bid on things. And I don't know if you've ever thought about buying clothes on eBay, but I went on there and I found this nice looking suit in my size, and the opening bid on it was $90. So I bid. Boom. I bid. And I told Joy, I said, hey, I bid on this suit. What? You bid on somebody else, a used clothes? Well, how much did you bid? $90. $90 for a suit that somebody else has worn, doesn't want any. So I decided I wouldn't bid anymore. Well, no one else bid. So here I have this $90 suit that nobody else has bid on. So it's mine now. It's my suit. And so I paid for it and they sent it to me. I opened it up and it still had tags on it, which meant that it had never been worn. It had never been fitted for anybody. And so I looked the label up. I thought, well, I'll just see what this thing costs somewhere. And I looked it up and it was the Neiman Marcus sort of house brand, their label. And I found the suit in there, and the suit was $3,000. Now, here's the interesting thing. I only paid $90 for the suit. So you see, I thought it's a $90 suit. The truth is that value, even though I didn't know it, even though I wasn't aware of it, was there regardless. So you see, I think we have value whether we see it, whether we know it, whether we realize it or not. There is value in me. This is the coat to that suit. This is the coat to that suit that I paid $90 for. Neiman Marcus has it on there for $3,000. It has value. I do too. But I have to act on that value. Several years ago, after Joy was sick and we both retired, we sold our house and we took the money from that house and we bought several small condos, which would have become rental property. We rent to travel nurses. But when we bought them, they were what you call depressed properties, meaning they didn't have a lot of value because of the condition that they were in. Well, we started fixing these things up, and I'm going to show you some pictures of these things. And I hate I don't have the pictures that we started with. But in these depressed properties were these incredible things that my wife came up with, that she designed, that she renovated, that she bought furniture for. She furnished them, and so we furnish them and we rent them now to nurses. I don't know how many of these that we've done. There was value in there, even though no one else saw it. Joey and I next month will go to Italy. We'll go to Rome, and different than I used to, I study things obsessively now as to where we're going. I mean, just like to get a grasp on where it is and what it is. And so I've studied Rome. I want to go to the Basilica, St. Peter's. And I was studying this incredible church. And I came to know that it took over 100 years to complete it. I also came to know that it took about 8 different architects. Obviously, the building outlived, its construction did, the age of the architects. But for one period, off and on, it sat for almost 40 years without being touched in the way of construction. And a new architect would come in and he'd last a couple of years, and then for whatever reason, finally, the Pope called Michelangelo in one day and said, "We've got to finish this church." He says this to Michelangelo. And so Michelangelo is 72 years old when he becomes the architect of St. Peter's Basilica. 72 years old. When he starts what we think of as one of the major projects of his life. Michelangelo has created this incredible thing at 72. And listen, it was in there all the time. All the time. The Basilica is 350 feet from the floor to the very top. The very top. You could set the Empire State Building inside that and have about 100 feet left over. And there is no support for it. I mean, think about that. Think about what kind of mind can see that, can design that. It's almost 200 feet across and its circumference. I mean, it's just unbelievable that someone could imagine this. And he was 72 when he started. Listen, it was in him all the time. Not the same, but it was in there. Me too. I'm not the same person I was at 40 or 50 or 60, but you see, there are still things in me waiting to come out. They're just waiting on me, and I'm going to do that. I want you to do that. This is Ken with, Story Time, Storycast. I want you to subscribe, and I want you to share this with people that you think might be helped by it. And if you need a suit, go on eBay. See this thing? $90.